Gonzo Akitas, and we did a thing about progesterone testing to get a large litter, and he made a comment here, and it is reasonable what he said. He said this: it doesn't make any sense. If she was a 7.49 on day 6, it meant she ovulated. Ovulation occurs at a level of 5. Dogs don't ovulate, then go back in progesterone levels. When a dog ovulates, the numbers keep on going up. The progesterone machine that you use is extremely unreliable, not accurate at all. Okay. Well, the first thing is the OneFo machine that we sell, which I've been using for years very successfully. It served a lot of my customers. It reads a progesterone level of something around a 7 or 8 in ovulation. It reads higher than an index. And I can tell you that I have seen many dogs that have been successfully pregnant that start hovering around, and that's why I did this video. The takeaway on this is, regardless of who the hell you're using for your testing, I recommend that you do a last test when you think you're finished to make sure the numbers are well above 15. And if you don't, you will get caught on this. And so, you know, his comment about 749, you've got to remember the machine. If it's, for instance, if it was a mini Vitus machine, a mini Vitus machine is double the numbers on an index. A mini Vitus, I had to go look at the chart, but a mini Vitus, I mean, you're doing a AI on a mini Vitus is something around a 25. So a 7 on a mini Vitus wouldn't even be ovulating. So you've got to be aware of your machine, you've got to know your machine, and you basically, what I look for is a sudden jump that leads me to believe that I'm at ovulation. And I didn't see the sudden jump, and I thought that I bred the dog actually yesterday, and the numbers have gone backwards. So.
Yeah, because she was at a 4 or something the day before.
Yeah, it was very strange. Very strange, yes.
Back at a 7 today, and
Yep.
it's like.
Danukia Pereira, big fan of your educational videos. My female American bully is pregnant for the second time after 2 years gap from the first litter. She didn't have a peaceful litter in her last. 3 of her puppies out of 9 got stuck, and she developed eclampsia after 2 months from delivery. She's 30 days pregnant now. Can you kindly remind me how to administer calcium? Okay, I may have asked this one the other day. Okay, so here's so
You did answer that the other day.
you don't give calcium before the whelp. If you give calcium before the whelp, you can cause eclampsia. So what's going on is I guess the endocrine system is kind of mucked up when you do that, and it thinks it's got more calcium it needs, and it shuts off the calcium supply. So don't give calcium. But I recommend, and I may have, I didn't get a comment here, but what I recommend that you do in a dog that has had eclampsia is that you do a blood test about day 2 after whelp and find out what the calcium levels are, so that you can then decide whether or not you can give some oral calcium, or whether she may even need an IV. And if you give calcium and on IV, you give it very slowly, because you can cause heart arrhythmias, and you can cause seizures. So you've got to be very careful how you use calcium for an IV.
I had a phone call, it was today
Yep.
or yesterday.
Yep.
Said that his mama dog killed every bit of the babies.
Yeah.
I think there was like maybe 6.
Yep.
And so he said the thing is he had left her in there without, it was first time mama, and just put her up with babies. It was like, you need to wait till after the anesthetic.
So she killed the babies immediately after she was introduced to her babies for the first time and left alone.
Yeah. You've got to watch over your mamas. You've got to make sure the anesthetic is away. Because, I mean, you could get your face bit off too, you know. Because you've always got, you know, like me, I've got my face right down there with my babies and my mama, and I'm kissing on her. Well, she could turn around and go, you know, because she's a little loopy from the anesthetic. So be very, very careful about leaving mama dog when you're not just, because, I mean, you know how you are when you have anesthetic. It takes a couple of days. So
I tell all my secrets.
You want to make sure that the mama dog is okay from the anesthetic. If you're going to leave your babies in there with your mamas, which you should, but make sure that mama's a-okay with being by herself with the babies.
So how long, Tammy, do you normally, you know, what you're saying here is takes a few hours for anesthesia to blow off.
Yes.
And dogs can be pretty loopy for 2 to 4 hours after anesthesia, sometimes
Right.
longer. And so they can be completely confused, especially first-time moms, completely confused
Oh,
what's
yeah.
going on. So what Tammy says is, be there with your mom, be close at hand, don't leave them alone until you
Right.
know that she's accepted the babies, and then nursing
with
is.
your first time mamas.
Yeah, if the puppies are all nursing and she's licking on the babies, I've never seen a problem at that point.
Right.
But we have seen dogs that like look at the dogs, that stand on their back, stand up, and just look at the dogs like, what the hell's going on? So you've got to coach them through that process. And then I want to say another thing about this getting in dogs' faces.
Right.
Because if you know your dog extremely well and it knows you very well, then fine. But if you don't know somebody else's dog,
Don't put your face
it's a
there.
mistake to put your face in it because you don't know what kind of a day that dog's had.
Yeah.
And a dog can do serious damage very, very, very quickly. And especially a dog that's hurt.
Yes.
If you come across a dog that's been run over, get a blanket all around it, cover it up with a
Towel.
blanket or a towel, and get it over its head. Because you absolutely can get in trouble with this, where a
Yeah.
dog will, and some of these big dogs, they can kill you. Literally can kill you. So just, dogs are great. We love dogs. But just remember,
careful.
just be careful because, they're.
Think of the what if.
I mean, look at
sense.
Tammy.
But
She's a
there's- yeah.
sweet-looking, attractive lady, but I promise you, if you do the wrong thing, she'll bite your head off.
Imagine that.
And I always just like touch her like this, and just
Yeah.
just kind of slowly
Yeah.
move up on her
Uh-huh.
like this before
I
I
don't think so.
get to any kissing. All right. Well, look, I think maybe we've got time for one more here. Somebody's asked, at what point does a dog start lactating? So let me just answer that one. Let me just read it here. Hey, James. How many days after labour starts will mum start lactating? Well, we just talked about that in the last one. It varies. It's all over the place. The very act of having whelping and contractions and having puppies nurse on a dog help contractions. Oxytocin should be given anyway, regardless, after whelp is finished or after surgery is finished to help with milk letdown. There's products that you can give, like I think it's vinegrin. It's a seed. Never used it, but supposedly it's used by women and it's used by people with dogs. And supposedly that will help bring a dog in. So there we go on that. And maybe we've got time for one more because we're just 8 minutes into this. Let's have a look here. Very good educational video. Are you able to let us know how the breeding go as progress made on this breeding? You betcha. In fact, today we did a video out in the backyard of the 3 girls running around.
Yep.
And Kit is starting to show. She was bred 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh. And she's starting to have some little titties form up.
She's a
She's a first-time mama.
Yep, she's a first-time mum, and that's a great indication that things are going in the right direction. When her nipples are just about twice as big as they used to be.
We still cross our fingers and say a prayer.
Yes, and when's January the 9th?
19th.
January the 19th.
First breeding due date. Doesn't mean she's going to have them that day.
No, right,
But it
exactly.
just means that that's a pretty good
We're getting
guess.
ready for it around
Right.
then, right.
And a week before that, I'll be doing her temperature once a day until it drops down to 99. Then I will do it twice a day.
And I think what we'll do on this one is we're going to do videos as she starts to show signs. We'll do a video when we do the progesterone test in about another week or 2. And we'll just talk about all the things that you can do. We're giving, by the way, we're giving folic acid. We've got 2 girls that are pregnant. The other girl was just bred yesterday. Kiki was bred yesterday. So both girls are now on 5 milligrams of folic acid. They're going to get pet tabs. They're going to get their regular food until we get to what point we can do the puppy food?
About 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of these girls are in great shape. Kiki, is there anything, is just a tad over her normal weight if she wasn't pregnant, which is exactly where we'd like to have them. So one of the things that you've got to be prepared for is a big litter and a mum that just looks like really tough very quickly. Somebody called me the other day and they had a litter of 10 coming up, and she was saying, I can already see her backbone because everything's pulling down.
Oh, yeah.
So, you can't do much about it when they're 2-3 days from well, they're not going to eat much food because they're just so full of puppies. I mean, you can get them lobster and caviar and they might just lick a little bit of it. You know, they just... What, you don't like lobster and caviar?
Oh, I've never tried caviar.
You've never tried
I
caviar?
don't think so.
I'm a big fan of it, just like salt. It's not... Yeah, anyway. Well, there we go. There's 11 minutes of your time used up. Keep watching us. Tammy, got anything to add to this?
Yeah, just contact me about the first week of January to see where Kid is on with her babies, and I can tell you more about Kiki on her babies that are coming up a month later.
So Kiki is a Euro hero, and we...
No, Kiki is
I'm
not
sorry,
a Euro hero.
sorry, Kid.
I'm pretty sure they all know that she is a Euro hero.
So Euro hero, and I do have a DNA, so we're going to talk...
Kiki is a lilac and tan, carries cream ATA, and she is out of
Grizzly.
Grizzly Bear Jr. that has passed now, which is a horrible thing. But anyway, so she looks like her daddy in conformation, short, like a little bread box.
She's
like a little squatty thing.
I love
and
it.
so, yeah, she's wonderful.
Like Kiki too.
So anyway, her baby, so probably, February the 10th. So she's 3 weeks behind Kid. So we'll have something for you in the oven.
Yeah, and we'll talk some more about Euro heroes, and
then we'll let you know when we confirm pregnancy who's the daddy of the litter. Who's your daddy?
Yes, so one's going to be...
No.
Will I say anything?
No.
Just want the secrecy.
No. Yeah, you always blow it though.
Well, one of them we bred to a German Shepherd, I was telling you that.
No, not hardly. James, I can't believe you said that. Because there's people that think that that's what you really mean. It is not. Just...
We both, but I'm going to say this. We went out from our stud lineup for both these dogs. So we've got some really beautiful studs.
Standing behind them.
And so the reason we did that is because there are some really fabulous bloodlines out there. And we're pretty excited. So we're always trying to build up our bloodlines like you should be doing with our studs and other people, and that's what we're doing. So
yeah, we've been in it for 18 years, but we're willing to learn and do new, different stuff.
And we do not come from the camp where we think that our dogs are the only dogs you should use and are the best dogs in the world. There's too much bragging going on in this climate by some people, and not going to.
And this is a big old world. You can't corner the market.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But both these breedings were done with the super nice people who've got really good dogs, and they are they're
names backing them. So
and they're on their game, both of them.
Oh, you bet.
Yep.
You bet.
Okay. Thanks for watching, bye.
Bye.
Watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.